Not to.
And we're live.
Oh, look at that. Hello there, everyone.
And you are wearing a Boba Fez.
Yes, I am wearing the Boba Fez. And again, I should start doing this like 15 minutes before we go on air because I got to like still promote it, and I actually want to like mention something on about a topic that we have to do, and I have also got the links available to do the topics. But welcome to the Alchemy, which currently is just me, Summer and Geek, and like John Brockman on camera this time because there's no
Sasha is not sitting in his window seat. Instead, he is not happy with me for picking him up because he had been strapping my legs because he wants food because I ran out of wet cat food, so he had to put up with dry cat food, which is unacceptable and not actually food.
So you're looking for food on the counter right now?
No, he's trying to find something that he can make a mess with back there.
Because he is unhappy. Okay, so I'm still going to promote.
No, because he's a cat.
I promise we won't have sex on stream.
Didn't know that was a promise that needed to be made, but. And here's Izzy.
Here's Isaiah. Hello, Isaiah. How you doing?
How's it going?
All right, I'm going to be tweeting out the stream. So once I write out my message, I'm going to say as a promotion for it, and then put the link and then copy paste it to all the places. Then I'll be done doing that. But I'll be doing that in the meantime. And as I say, hello to Awesome on the Dark, hello to Mithril, hello to Joan P, hello to Tavi, and hello to Emily Chambers. How y'all doing? And yeah, what was like and there's in fact speaking of the wolf, there is Tavi. This and connecting. Oh, there you go. Oh,
Quick question, Tabby. Are you hungry like the wolf?
Yes, I know the song. Rather frequently, yes.
Now I don't.
In
I
fact,
don't.
I have food.
Go ahead, Tabby.
In fact, I have food that's kind of my breakfast in front of me right now. So, because that's just how these mornings go.
Mama's dead. My daddy is poor, and I'm hungry like the wolves.
Okay, now I got to go back and actually listen to the lyrics of that song because what you just sang, Isaiah, that is a fucking mood.
I could tell.
Oh, the 80s. When men were men because they weren't scared to be women.
And they had a lot of money.
I wish I could say I came up with that line myself, but I totally stole that from Peacemaker.
And Tavi's like, I have opinions on this.
I just swallowed lemonade as John Brockman was saying that.
And hello, Phoenix. How are you doing? And importantly,
And Loki. Loki? Is her dog's name?
No, Loki's the dog's name, but Loki lives with her, with Phoenix's parents' place, as it were.
How's Yuli doing?
I haven't heard much from Julie, but I think she's surviving. Last I knew, I thought I checked Facebook to be sure, but I'm sure she's surviving well, and so hope that the rest for Julie because
Notice how I called her Yuli, not Julie.
Yes, exactly. Because it's an inside joke for those who are not in the know. Like Awesome on the Dog probably doesn't know that one of our friends and regional troll. But this is a troll that we accept because he's actually funny sometimes, and also he doesn't actually just openly mock people and just put down people. No, he makes puns. That's what
David does.
Yes. So David Scott one time on air in the video call said Jonathan. And we all made fun of him because of the accent, as it were. And hello, Groundhog, who floats into the chat. And so it became a it became an inside joke on so it's just Alchemy that I'm Jonathan, not Jonathan, and we
Jonathan,
started
actually.
Jonathan, yes, and so we started pronouncing like the Y's as J's. It's like not Joey, the indigenous heretic, is Yoey. It's actually pronounced Joey, not Yoey. I did have to clarify that actually one time.
It's Yosef.
So yes, the wolf is eating. Isaiah is on location. John Bruckman has a cat that's upset with him, and I'm still like sharing around the link to like everywhere. But also today I have a day off.
Do you guys like my costumes I make?
Yes.
I do, yes. You can see a lot of these costumes on like Isaiah Taylor's Instagram, Cult Culture 92, if I remember correctly, on Instagram.
Have you finished your Titanic captain?
Almost. Hold on.
Still trying around, still everywhere. And Phoenix is actually a switch. Not that I see. That's important. But like Phoenix also still has like Archie with
Archie.
them. Yes.
Archie's the dog that refuses to get off the bed.
No, Archie's the Archimedes is the cat.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Phoenix is like familiar is a black cat named Archie. So those
You have
I'm still busy tweeting out. I will actually mention this as I'm tweeting this out to all the places that like I promise we will not have sex on stream because the Tabby that actually did happen. I
was not aware of this. Was I drunk or something?
no, not on this show, but it did happen one time on Twitch.
Okay.
Okay, I will.
I mean, I can understand if it's OnlyFans or ChatterBait, but
well, now the thing is, like, yes, it's totally yes. You can easily do that on those places, absolutely. But however, there's a lot of like I don't know. It's just like if OnlyFans models goes onto like Twitch, that's fine because they stream on Twitch. They just have to follow Twitch 2S and like all the community guidelines and that sort of thing too. And which is also what something that like Twitch does is that like no, you cannot promote your OnlyFans in your about page on Twitch. There's actually restrictions by that. So other than that, yeah, go ahead. I'm not gonna like judge whatsoever. Some people like have a problem with that. I don't know, but again, I'm still like sharing around like the link to all the places, but I will like talk about it and share the link, but like or get the article. But I can say because going off of memory, this was a Twitch streamer with only like 230 followers or something like that. So late night, don't know anything like that, and she got interrupted by her boyfriend, and she just said stop, that sort of thing. But then you can kind of tell on her face that something happened, but also in the reflection behind, you can actually see her boyfriend get into position, as it were, and then, well, yeah. Once she was aware that was happening, she did like end the stream, but it was on stream long enough for it to be clipped and show up on Reddit at like on as live stream fails. And that's because it went viral. It went viral enough that's where
there's a lot of consent issues going on there.
Live stream fails has been really shitty for years. I will say that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like it's for all those like wardrobe malfunctions or the nip slips and that sort of thing, which is probably what then prompted like Twitch to like really crack down on like the what's called the titty streamers.
Nipples.
Tumblr, that was Tumblr's line, but like but
AKA these
Yes, exactly. But like what Twitch it did say is that like even the guests of the streamer or what happens on the stream is responsible for the streamer. So like
Oh.
if the streamers have like a guest on that like do something inappropriate, then like that's where it's just like no, you're also responsible too. So there was a bit of a crackdown on the 2D streamers. There's still the hot tubs streamers, and I don't care. I don't care. It's like whatever they want to do. If they can like if they get an audience and they join themselves and they follow like a community guidelines and the Twitch TOS how it is right now, do what you want and like yeah, but yeah.
So what you just described, Jonathan,
Mm-hmm.
was really kind with the boyfriend coming in and her going, no, 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 stop.
Mm-hmm.
One, boyfriend, fucking stop.
Yes.
Two, I'm not going to name names because they've been through enough,
Mm-hmm.
but I do know a streamer who had someone she cut out of her life for different multiple forms of abuse. One of them was trying to force situations while streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Is this
And
are we talking about Kefals? Are we talking about her?
no, probably nobody. I, I I can mention it to you later, Jonathan. It's somebody you know, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not
Keffel's
somebody you know
situation was
big.
entirely different. Keffel's got swatted.
Yes, Scaffold's got swatted. It's something else.
Oh yeah, that I don't know about. Like, yeah, when your partner fucking says stop, I'm streaming. Fucking stop.
That's one thing. Yes, exactly. And so what is so how did I find this out? It was like yeah, it was on Twitter I found this out. Back in easily find the story too of just like searching for like a streamer having sex on stream. Is now the streamer did get like a 7-day suspension for that as it were. Um but like so how they became a hashtag, which I have to like really find again, and because like
Can I
there
just
was
say that is so America?
yes.
Hey, let's fucking all go shame and humiliate
The person who
a
just got
woman.
assaulted on camera. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this shit isn't okay. Like the live streams fails posting it, what the boyfriend did, the people eating it up. This none of this is okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm being
No,
you're responding appropriately.
yeah, exactly.
This is what the response should have been all the time.
Yeah, because like I'm pretty sure that like yeah well yeah it's like inappropriate to do it on stream and the boyfriend should like stop and know better not to do it while she's streaming.
especially if she was saying no, stop.
Yeah.
That means stop.
Mhm. Yeah, so that's the link I have of like the story as it were, and so yeah, she only has like a 233 followers. Oh yeah, that was the ex streamer that like was like taking this story and saying because like okay, so the streamer Gene Dion slammed the platform because like this streamer got like a 7-day suspension for having sex on stream. But yet James Dion it got permanently like removed from the platform. But yet I still don't know the reason why he is perma banned. I have to like research. I haven't researched that to like find out what that is.
Who's James Dion again?
Someone who was like on like Twitch, but then got the platform from Twitch and is now on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know. That's the person's name. I don't know like why he was like banned from Twitch. I have to like research that to like find out at least Twitch side of the story. But like I am pretty sure that, like yeah it was yeah it's like she did say like no and yeah if he continued then when she said no that's the breaking consent so like no that totally
Do you want me to say the harsh word, Jonathan?
Go ahead. Yeah.
That's right.
Yes, exactly.
Wait,
People
wait. Saying
consuming
that word means
consuming
we
that
won't
clip.
get monetized by the YouTube.
we are not monetized anyway.
Why not?
Communists are never monetized.
It is our videos are probably going to be buried on the algorithm too. Oh well, because apparently if you like say like bad words like that or like
Which
controversial
is
words.
really a horrible way to do it, because that then how can you say, hey, this shit is not okay, when there is important shit to talk about and tell that people don't get that it's not okay.
It's apparently it's only within the first 7 minutes or the first 12 minutes. So it's the bots that you check for like if there's swear words in the video or if there's like the mention of word Nazi or something like that. And yeah, because it's
Kind
not
of hard to talk about Nazis doing Nazi shit without mentioning the word Nazi.
well, it's just kind of like how like 5
Well,
years
you
ago
could just call them Republicans.
that's
That's
one way to
true.
do it.
But people don't sometimes don't understand the distinction.
Oh yeah, that's another thing about the story is that like the streamer was drinking alcohol while on stream, which is also I think in community guidelines sort of thing. Well, no. The community guidelines things is like if you're drinking alcohol as part of reward, like oh I get like a shot. No, that's against community guidelines as far as I'm aware of this or, and people other people drinking on stream. I think I have seen people like drink on stream, and so it's just like. Yeah, I wouldn't do it, or I'll make sure like I'm not getting drunk on stream. That's the word because you do have to be responsible for what you're doing on stream. But like, yeah, exactly. It's just like so. I don't know what JDN is like talking about. I want to know like how he got banned, and because uh, because he's calling it like just like racist because a black man got banned from Twitch while like a white girl gets like to have sex on stream and just gets 7 days suspension. So that was the hashtag that I saw, like Twitch response. I think was the hashtag. So yeah, that's that story. And trying to find. It seems I don't know why like AGC on this like he got banned from Twitch. So okay, here's the story. That's why I want like to see this because okay, okay, it's just like some other crap that like he has done. And yeah, and I kind of like it's here.
What about black on black Twitch crimes?
um
Wow, you're asking the tough questions there.
I'm not on Twitch, so I can't comment.
Okay, it's apparently like James Dean, and there's like an article about like Jane Dion being like banned from Twitch. Something he did like the Pokemon or something like that. That's the gist of the word. So it's just like I'm just like, okay, just everyone just behave.
Oh,
And
behave.
Oh, Geek, did you know that there's a socialist group here in Tampa, Florida, that wants to make like a communist utopia in Tampa, Florida. I don't know if you know about that.
I'm not aware of that, but it's often those kind of groups like all over their places or
DSA,
so.
CPUSA. There's multiple communists in the U.S. with no
Yes.
power or political abilities.
Yes, and when John Brunkman said to like Steve Shives last time John Brunkman was in the live chat for the Ask Away on Steve Shives channel, John Brunkman Steve Shives, Steve, join communism, and Steve thinks of joining the Communist Party of the USA.
I'm gonna see if I can share it in the chat.
Our chat, and I can like share it into like the live chat as it were. You're gonna have to like okay, yeah, you did.
No, it's
He did a fucking public mass harassment thing.
Okay, so yeah, so
Dion.
yeah, against Pokemon. That's what it would sound like.
Twitch has been trying to take that more seriously.
And thank God, I'm saying
When it's done by black people.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I haven't seen anything about like Destiny's still on the platform, right?
The Destiny,
Vosh
I
is still on the
think.
platform.
No, I
I
think
mean,
Destiny
they
is
banned
off
Andrew
of platform.
Tate, the actual trafficker.
Oh, fucking hell.
Is I think Destiny actually is off the Twitch platform, and then only stream on YouTube. But
the close up on the cat butt.
mhm.
He settles down. There we go.
But like Vosh is still, I think Vosh still does have like his channel on Twitch, which is unfortunate because yeah, Vosh still has the Twitch channel. So
Committee for a Tropical
Vosh is just
Communist Party. It's always got to be a goddamn committee.
yeah. Vosh is pretty well known for mass harassment and all kinds of other shit.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I try to search Destiny on like Twitch, and I get like Destiny 2, and like no streamers named like Destiny, or
Oh no,
that's
he changed his name.
oh, what's his name now on Twitch?
I clean forgot. I noticed it at one point on Twitter because he actually got banned from Twitter and made a new
Oh,
account.
he's been banned on Twitter several times. So
Yeah.
trying Destiny is streaming now on YouTube, but oh, there's this Twitch thing. No, that was okay. No, that's his Twitch link on from his YouTube channel is like to the suspended like account that he has. So if he has a new one, I don't know about.
Oh yeah, you can't just go making another account on Twitch and get away with it if you're that easily known.
So I'm just gonna like try to like find
Yeah.
Destiny on YouTube and like Twitter to see if like he has like changed his thing too. And unfortunately, Destiny is like Vosh is one of those names that like shows up all the time. I'm like, for me, I'm like, what is happening on Twitter? And it's just like, I don't care about Destiny. I don't care about Vosh. And it's just like,
Ozma's got Destiny's new name.
oh, that's right. I remember now. And so I don't see like a omni liberal on Twitch either. Trying to just like put that in on the Twitch.tv omni liberal is where it's just a person account with like one follow. So that's probably his like Twitter name, which I am aware of that, but I'm like not sure if it's like his Twitch name. So if like a Stephen Bannon is on like a Twitch, I don't know what his name is. But yeah, anyway.
Well, let's hope he emulates Woodrow Wilson and dies and is forgotten.
I remember Woodrow Wilson. Isn't he the like isn't he the president that like showed like the birth of the nation into in the White House?
Yes. He was a white supremacist piece of shit. He segregated the federal army. His wife told darky jokes in cabinet meetings. He was a bad person, and we should all be glad he's dead.
They're bad, at least.
Did he refer to us as Negroes or the other N word?
With the hard R, I bet.
Yeah. Well, no, he was from Virginia, so it probably wouldn't have been a hard R.
Oh, before I forget, make sure to like give Phoenix money, copy pasta like their GoFundMe, and definitely Joanna Roberts like could use some money now. I don't know if anyone's like given her money for her to be able to get food to like a Casey because like her trans be son because she needs food, and I have to like check my credit cards and my bank accounts if I can give her something like that. I mean, yeah, I guess so, like worst comes to worst, so like by the time that like Patreon charges hit my credit cards, yeah, I'll be able to live by then. But then like Friday will come and then it'll be like payday, so I can like pay it and make a payment on the credit cards. I'm at that level of thinking now. Whenever Joanna Roberts like they message me like when she needs, and the back half of like the month is always like the worst for her too. The days up until like when she gets her SSI. Woodrow Wilson made the world safe from like American hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. I figured was that, but my brain couldn't like. It's like no, I can't be that. Can't be that. Can't be that. It's simple something.
But yes, John, my Titanic captain's cosplay is going well.
Nice.
Yeah, I had a friend actually donate a bunch of like costumes, like military, like Navy costumes. So I'm gonna work on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see. Hey, like Anarcho Media, how you doing? Hey, David, how you doing? Yeah, the Tucker was such a loser when John Stewart showed up on like a Crossfire. It's even bigger loser now. He just more. Yeah, he was the one conservative on CNN with Crossfire. That's half of it. And hello, Scar, Metal and Sprite, how you doing? But then it's just like, yeah, John Stewart just like
You wear a
talk to
bow
his.
tie.
uh, uh,
Um,
Has anyone watched anything Bill Manure says?
Ooh,
me and Bill Maher.
who?
Bill Maher, but I call him Bill Manure now.
is he still around?
Yeah.
Not in a very long time. The dude is just center right. He's between the Democrats and the Republicans. He is a conservative liberal. He is just all around kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's always been a piece of shit. Even back on like politically incorrect, he would he would refer to like children with cognitive disabilities as like equivalent to dogs. This were Titanic cosplay sounds like a great icebreaker at parties.
I'm just. Yes, I'm autistic. Yes, I enjoy making a lot of canine noises. And it tends to be an instinctual thing for me when I'm relatively comfortable. Don't fucking refer to people like that.
Yes, exactly. Even his guest, this was like in the '90s too. But even like one of his guests has a nephew with autism, and she was like threatened to throw her shoe at him for that statement. And
Fucking do it.
Yeah.
Why do it?
Yeah, so like Bill Manure, he still has an HBO show where it's like Bill Manure Live or something like that. He's the one that wants to be done with the COVID-19, the pandemic. It's over, let's go back to normal, that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
he doesn't realize that he doesn't know things. And even when his guest corrects him, it's like, no, the federal government did subsidize all Wall Street after the big crash that happened at the beginning of the pandemic. It's like, was there a big crash? It's like, yes, there was. It was like Black Monday too. It's like,
The joys of being an old rich white guy.
which is what Bill Maher is
You
essentially.
just don't know. You just don't know what the fuck is going on.
You ever notice
What
rich
are the
white men
peasants
complain
paying
about
for
a lot?
milk these days? 50 cents a gallon?
What'd you say, Tappy?
I was like, you ever notice rich white men complain about a lot of shit for people that have a lot going for them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
they complain because there's other people trying to get up there with them. That's why they're complaining.
Remember what the tyranny of the majority meant to the founders.
Yes.
They were terrified of the poors coming after their money.
Yes, exactly. Which is why they hate democracy.
Bill Manure it's Bill Maher, but it's Balmu for his initials.
Yes. Phoenix had I forgot what the Phoenix called Bill Manure before or something like that. Maybe just Bill Manure. That's going to be the new name for him and from now on. But yeah, it's just like Republican Party in 1986. We don't really care about slavery one way and the other. We just want to preserve the Union and then trick it to Thames. Republican Party in 1901. We don't like unions, but we'll support them as long as they're not too radical. Which, yeah, that's the thing about like history of like union in the United States, because like no, there's great awesome things that like unions in the United States have done, but there are also terrible racist things in the United States the unions have done too, because like
Except for the Wobblies.
The Wobblies, yeah.
The Wobblies were always, always, always dedicated to being open.
Mm-hmm.
They never, unlike other communist movements and unions, they never ever segregated. They were always racially integrated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just want to share this because like someone has said in a Discord server as I posted the today's link. I came from in to watch sometimes that is there any point with the older episodes? And I said no, there's a lot of great content as it were, but you don't need to start with the old episodes as it were, which I just answered. So it's like yeah, we do like
Yeah, this
number
isn't How
these-
I Met Your Mother. We don't have continuity.
I mean, that's one thing that, like, I mean, yes, for some things, it's like we can celebrate like 200 episodes, but like then it's just like people somehow feel like if it's like 204, I should start at one. Like, that's definitely how my brain works.
I was never a fan of sitcom shows for some reason. Like I like my dad watched Seinfeld a lot, but I didn't get it.
It's yeah. Yeah, no, Metro brought up an excellent point. What a surprise. Colin Muppin has turned out to be a POS, a piece of shit. Yes. Several allegations of sexual assault and rape. So speaking of rape, as we mentioned earlier, as kind of not yet I know Muppet was always just like not a great person, just like a orthodox Marxist, which like a Communist Manifesto originals. That's how I always describe him, and it's just like it's just like not with one person I take it seriously, and I never liked his analysis about like anything because again, orthodox Marxist.
Orthodox Marxist.
Yeah,
It's been more than a century. Communism has moved on.
Yes, exactly. And even like Karl Marx also recognizes, hold on, wait a minute. I don't, when he said workers of the world rise up, he was talking about like workers of the world join in the political movement and form our own political party as opposed to a bourgeoisie party, because it was the manifesto for the Communist Party is where it's a party manifesto. Labor and like the Tories, they have like party manifestos all the time. That was just the one that Frederick Engels and like Karl Marx wrote in like 1848. Where and just become known as Communist Manifesto. But even like afterwards, like Karl Marx is like, hold on, no, I have to like rethink some of these things. The Paris Commune, that was a very interesting like experiment in democracy, as it were. So I always like go back to like a Cook Philosophy's video on like Marx was not a statist, as it were. It's just like many other Marxists later on took his work and like mean that like we should start with the state first, or like take seize power of the state and then like use that to bring about like communism, as it were. Where socialism is the transitionary period from capitalism to socialism, then to communism, as it were. But yeah, exactly. And like communism has like moved on, and since then, there's so many different branches of it.
Yeah.
So Narcomedia says,
once I like started leaning more into like socialism, I began to lose more like friends.
but you gained us.
Yeah.
It's, and that's
which is fine because I've known you guys longer than some of my other friends now that left me. So good.
Is that's not to say that like I encourage people to like defriend people for like any given reason or so forth. People can definitely unfriend people for whatever reason they want to, or they feel like that friend is just toxic, or so I don't want to deal with that friend whatsoever.
These people left me because I began to like become woke about how everything is. So they actually left me. Yeah, like one of these like people that I used to know, that like she called Bernie Sanders like an extremist. And I'm like, is he still an extremist? Is okay. So I mean, that's the thing about that's the thing about like autistic people sometimes. It's like when they're cute and dumb and like harmless, people like them, but when they're smart, people don't.
That is mood.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sort of like everyone who's not white or a man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. But like, yeah, no, the old Tabby, as old Tabby said, like that's a mood. That's it. And so,
what's that mean?
That is
relatable.
Mood. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's also this is a weird thing. It's like I don't know. Some people. Okay, yeah. Some people don't like to talk about politics because the conversations get contentious, and I'm just like, I just here to want to have fun. Which okay, if you're a content creator like on Twitch or like YouTube, and you just want to talk about this, that, and the other thing, want to talk about Star Trek and its lore, or just want to play video games on Twitch, okay, yeah. But I never like it. To me, no, political differences do matter, as it were, to a certain extent. for now, as it is, if you are someone that's like enthusiastic capitalism or just pro capitalism, I have to like gauge is it because no, you literally legitimately think that like you would like see like Rapture from the first Bioshock game, and you'd be like, I want to do that, I want to live there, I will run that place. I don't want you as a friend personally because like I know this person. This person is actually enthusiastic capitalist. They don't have capital, so I'm not calling themselves a capitalist in that sense. They're a worker, but they are enthusiastic capitalism. They see themselves as say between Biden and Trump. So, yeah.
So they're merely far right.
Yes, exactly. But that's also why.
So they're just in general fans of creepy old white men.
Yes, and Iran. I don't know if they're a fan of Iran or not, but again, based on how they like
and
Rapture,
bears. They're probably really, really into bears.
Nah, I don't know about
A
that.
libertarian walks into a bear. Yes.
Just like how
don't realize it, but they're fans of bears.
Just like that one city in Vermont that was a libertarian haven, a right-wing libertarian haven. They just stopped. They just didn't have collected garbage whatsoever because that's someone else's job.
Overrun by bears,
and by
not
grizzly
gay men,
bears,
literal
yes.
bears,
literal bears.
I dated a bear once. They can be nice.
Yes, exactly. They can be
metaphorical
lovable.
bears.
Yes. So about like okay, I have done a little research about this, and it won't take long for me to look find an article about this. But Tavi, you know about like the feature that Twitch.tv had about boosting a channel, right?
That was a really weird one that I'm not even sure how many people ever used it.
Okay, so I will find the Twitch stop the boosting.
I think I know the one you mean.
Hey, well, okay, so yeah, has been a thing for like Twitch from 2020, where it's like channel points, where it's like that one was like okay, it's fine, but like because the channel points that you collected, you have to like collect enough channel points in order to use it, and some streamers do have it, some streamers don't, and I don't know how well it worked for like how off if you reach a certain threshold of like a community goal, a community guideline of so many points was donated that like the channel now gets boosted, as it were, and how it worked for like ideally is that like then your channel will be shown up higher in like the Twitch's algorithm and become recommended to more viewers, as it were. So then Twitch was launching and testing a feature where it's like it's paid boosting.
Not surprised.
So yes, I mentioned this on like my Twitch stream before. Tavi has definitely said a lot of things, which I think we both agree on. It's just like, okay, the problem with paid boosting, one thing, okay, it's confusing, but whose product here? Is the streamer the product? Is the consumer the product? Yeah. Is Twitch the product? Who's the seller? And it's just like, either way, it's just like Twitch gets money.
You have to fill if you get money from Twitch in the US, you have to fill out a 1095.
Yes.
I believe you technically count as a contractor.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, it is this thing of like, is Twitch trying to become an MLM? Is Twitch already
ever
an MLM?
not?
And I just never thought to call it that before.
Is I mean yes. So like yeah, like is MLM. It's like multi-level marketing, not like Marxist Leninists or Men Who Loves Men, as it were. But I love when I made that joke before on Twitter, because like the guy I knew from high school is now a socialist, but a state socialist, and thinks of like they likes the memes about like Mao's the treatment of landlords, but it's also like wants to like get me into on this like great scheme, great deal to like get me to like sell a bunch of like seed oil to like all my friends and something like that. So that's a MLM. And he's also a gay man, so he's an MLM.
Okay then.
So Twitch had the boosting thing, and they were testing the phase where it's just like it's paid for boosting, but unlike say with like yes Marty after that, hello Marty, I am a Shriner, yes exactly, but fences are cool, come on. However, I do have a red coat that makes me look like a Shriner as well. I just don't have the tiny car to drive around with either. But I would be opposed to doing that, enjoying the Shriners with my fez and my red coats too.
I'm
Um,
trying to work out the Tatooine hut equivalent of being a Shriner because that's Boba Fett.
I try to remember what the Boba Fett is. I remember the name one time. Someone said it to me at SakuraCon, but I forgot it. I forgot.
He's
Anyway,
not a Mandalorian, not really. He's the
yes.
clone of Jango Fett, who also wasn't a Mandalorian but was given the armor because he did something for Mandalorians.
Django Fett Unchained.
Yes, David Labels was the most important thing. It was from D group. Okay, yes, yeah. Jordan Return P like left the group of friends once because they were talking about shit about BLM, and one of the protesters called it. Oh, fucking hell! That if you called like one of the protesters at BLM or at a BLM protest or one participants at a BLM protest, hey, no, screw you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and so that was a D&D group that like a LGBT plus center. They were very much they were very much new to people, especially when they had autism. Yeah, yep, that's a group to leave definitely for that reason.
There are many reasons to leave D&D groups.
Mm-hmm.
Being assholes is one of them.
Absolutely.
I'm sure those groups are full of incels too.
There's some that groups like that George G was talking about. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. And
But D&D groups in general are very big, wide spectrum, wide ranging.
yes,
They tend toward dude nerds, but
yes,
Not
so. Right, and that's also an ongoing discussion, discourse in like D&D groups about like consent, and I think it is important for that the discussion of consent to happen because yes, even though it's just a character, it's all make believe and it's all just fictional. No, I think the players can definitely express if they're really uncomfortable with the scenario that they were given, and especially if it's like typically a dude DM and a woman player. And that's why some of those women groups are like left D&D, and why many of them also tried to find only women groups as were, or at least a very accepting and very open and safe space kind of D&D group too. And why a lot of trans
I'm
people
an all trans group.
Yes, exactly. That is, oh, why do you need to safe spaces? They feel uncomfortable around people like you. Oh, what? Men like
Yeah,
you.
I'm part of several Titanic groups, and I've had very good experiences with all of them.
Yep. Sometimes you get a great experience about them. So, back to like the story about like boosting. It's what, yeah. So Twitch experimented with like the feature where you can pay to boost the channel. Twitch just gets the money right away, and so, but me, Tavi, and many other like anyone that's like studies capitalism recognizes this is just going to benefit the big streamers that have like a massive audience. Some of them with whales, essentially.
Yeah, it'll be like with gacha games.
Yes. So they'll be the ones that will easily boost the channel up to like the top thing, and like so then they kind of like they had an experiment for a while, and I don't know what really happened with that one. But then they also they do it with like hype trains, where the boosting feature become part of the hype train. What's work for those who don't know now on Twitch on hype train, is that like if like at least 3 people sub or give a gift sub or like donate 100 bits is where, and bits equivalent to like a penny. 1 bit is 1 penny basically. Then they can start a hype train, and during that limited time, if you achieve at least 1 level of hype train, then you be the people who participate in the hype train, like donated bits during that time, donated subs during that time, or sub during that time, will get a chance for having a limited special limited emotes when they do that. And it also does like kind of boost the stream. It always used to boost the streams because there'll be a section, and when you scroll down twitch.tv of hype train, it'll be like those streams that are actively have hype train right now. I left those Titanic groups with a sinking feeling. Morty, sit in the corner.
That's David's job. You don't do that, Marty. David does that.
Unfortunately, Marty thought of the pun before David did. So, yes, tiny land speeder. So then, the boosting feature got then tied to hype trains. Whereas, like, if the streamer happened to get a hype train, in fact, you will see it on the stream too. But you're gonna see it. The stream will then get boosted. Still, kind of similar problems, but at least with the hype train model, as we're having the boosting feature being added to the hype train, at least the streamer does get like half the money from like subs and like all of the money from the bits, or should be, as it were. The problem though is like, the rich people will be like, are you punishing Marty? Joe McClory.
Shame on you.
Yes, we are, and we're going to punish you too. Yeah. So why is it? So I'm talking about all these boosted features and its work. So why has the boosted features the Twitch has paused it indefinitely? Pasting the Kotaku link inside.
Let me guess. Somebody found a way to exploit it.
Somebody found a way to make money off of it.
With
Someone
a bunch
found
of bots and shit.
Yes, exactly. And Twitch finally had to put a pause on the feature when porn got to the front page.
I'm not fucking surprised.
Yes.
Twitch was. Though they were surprised by fucking, but
It's because okay.
No, Twitch shouldn't even be surprised because there have been incidents where people, like at one point, like I think it was in a chat or something, and people were telling me, "Oh, somebody's streaming porn to such and such channel." I'm like, what the fuck? Aren't you all reporting it?
Mm-hmm.
Turned out it was really, really creepy because it looked like it was somebody doing revenge porn shit, which was like, okay, just fucking click the. So I actually put in a report, and then it was down like a couple minutes after that.
Yeah.
But it's like all these people hanging out, and it's like a few thousand people hanging out, but just saying shit in the chat. I'm like, fucking report this shit.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be on the platform. It's against the Twitch and TOS and community guidelines. Absolutely, on some reasons. Twitch is
and the content that was there would definitely have some very serious consent
Yes.
implications going on. It was like, what is
Right.
wrong with people?
They love
porn is
watching a
fun.
train. They love watching a train wreck, as it were, or they just like I think it's like, ooh, I could get away with this, or they get away with it, or I'm watching porn in a place I'm not supposed to be watching porn. Ooh, so that's probably part of it, and I think it's kind of like how sometimes the people are just like they flip through like a Hustler magazine for the first time. Good God, disgusting. And continue looking at it as word. It's just, again, I think the train wreck sort of thing. They can't take their eye off of it as word.
sex is evil, and I am horny.
But like, Twitch should not be surprised, honestly. But like, this is the problem with like Twitch as a platform. Is like, so I'll find the game Anime World because it's an
Oh gods,
yeah,
I know what you're getting to. Go ahead.
So yeah. So here we go. Anime World on Steam Power there on Steam. So there you go. There's a link to Anime World. It's a real game. It's a game that actually
it's
exists.
a store in Tulalip, Washington.
And maybe it is, but there's also a game named Anime World that's on Steam. It looks like got mixed reviews. It looks like a cheap, like thrown together game, and it's just like it's only $1, but then you have to like spend time to like play it too. So it's just like, who cares? Okay, if you go to Twitch,
just a generic RPG.
yeah, just a general,
Yeah, it's kind of shovelware.
yeah, it's kind of shovelware in that regard. But you look up the category of Anime World on Twitch.tv. And I'll find, and I'll just like copy and paste that, and I'll paste that into the live chat right now. There's Naruto right there. That looks like, and that looks like to be Big Bang Theory. And sometimes you watch it, it's no. It's just like a live 24/7 like channel that is like streaming copyrighted licensed television, but not licensed to stream.
And they don't do shit about it.
I see One Punch Man. I see House. I see That looks like, oh, that's Futurama.
American Dad, Bob's Burgers. I
Malcolm in the
even like
Middle. God damn.
yes,
You're
I've
just watching
even
all the TV.
is and some of it's not even anime, which is like that's House right there. It's just like
And
hey,
didn't I didn't you and I like I saw this and didn't you and I talk about this like several months ago, Jonathan?
yes, we did.
And this has been going on for the entirety of that time.
Yes, is it's several channels too. So like that's Cardcaptor Sakura.
So it's
Love that
like
show.
all Twitch has
It's
to
not several
all a
channels,
Twitch
it's
mod
lots of
has to
channels.
do is sit there in that category going ban, 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 ban
Mhm.
over and over the fuck again.
Yeah.
But they don't do it.
They don't even do that. So they don't have. I wonder how if they got like real people who actually like monitor this stuff anyway, if they just rely on bots and then only be occasionally look at the reports that they get. And that's one thing that Tabby, you have like criticized Twitch for doing is like at least with like Twitter and Facebook, or at least I do know from Twitter, they do say like we receive your report and they'll tell you of like what they've done about it
Mm.
in reaction, like this account get reported or something like that, or thank you for your information. Twitch doesn't do anything like that, so we don't. There's no follow up from Twitch if we send a report.
What they do is they send something to that we received a report from you and there's no actual information on it. So like when I'm reporting like a shit ton of different things from a hate raid or
Mhm.
something like that, I don't know which of those emails is tied to which report,
Right.
and then there's no follow-up. So it's like they half do it. I suppose you could say they half-ass it.
Mhm. There's also like a
I think
sleeping
Marty's
game.
right, actually.
Mhm.
Twitch has been digging its own grave for a while.
Even the CEO of Twitch has like done surveys, or they have like done surveys before. How did you find your favorite Twitch streamer? They have said that people have said that I found my favorite Twitch streamer on YouTube, on TikTok. I followed them on Twitter. So Twitch knows that like they're terrible at like promoting other like Twitch streamers, and people are not finding their favorite Twitch streamers on Twitch. They find them on other platforms and then come to Twitch. And so yeah, I agree. Twitch is just dying a slow death. And they were just never good about like, oh yeah, that's the game. I'm only sleeping. So yeah, there's this.
What will Twitch streamers do after they leave Twitch? Will they just get like a real job?
YouTube.
Unfortunately, the YouTube. Yeah, they'll go to YouTube. That's the only other viable like this place to go. And Bet I Only Sleeping is an actual game because like a visual novel is. That's I thought that like I Am Only Sleeping is a game because like apparently that's a category on Twitch. You're not supposed to be sleeping on stream, but like there is a game that's like is a visual novel but has sleeping in the title, and then people have like used that category to just sleep on stream. Again, something you're not supposed to do.
Which is it's really a bad idea because you just leave open an unmoderated chat.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I am actually it says here in the Twitch category. I Am Only Sleeping, a point and click adventure game created by like blah blah blah, a part of the Reality on the Norm project. That's all the category is. But like I know I don't think I'm seeing people like maybe actually playing the game. They are doing a whole bunch of other things. So it's like, yeah, but some of them are in fact just sleeping on camera. And this is how they skirt around the rule that Twitch does have, where it's just like you cannot leave your stream unattended. The point is, like Tammy brought up, is that like you're leaving an unmoderated like chat. So that's the reason the Twitch gives. The real reason is that like Twitch doesn't want our stream to take a bandwidth if you're not doing anything on it. I swear. Yeah. So yeah,
And Scarlet makes a good point. Twitch digging its own grave is just ultimately going to hurt all the people that we know that actually use their income from Twitch to survive circumstances that would otherwise be extremely difficult and are probably still extremely difficult.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, Tim and I know two people who are close to that, like just they have to rely begging on Twitch essentially for food and supplies in order to like get by, because like yeah, one of them have like SSI and that's good enough for like rent and like 1 week of food, or if even that with inflation. And so yeah, that's what's if like Twitch is somehow no more, but that's the problem with like yeah, exactly, Marty. Right now, like Amazon is holding it up, just like how YouTube just doesn't break even. It barely breaks even if it does that, but YouTube as a thing is something that Google wants to own because like YouTube is like internet TV. In case it becomes something or is like it actually makes profitable, which is difficult because a lot of bandwidth to like take up for the videos. And then Google wants to like own that and own that sort of thing, so that's why they have an own YouTube as well and keep it around, even though it's like it doesn't make money. Same thing for like Amazon and Twitch streaming can be something, or streaming can be something, and Twitch is the big platform for streaming, and so Amazon just like likes to be able to own that, and it's the only way that it's propping it up. But even like this was a couple of years ago, but like Twitch did sign an exclusive deal with like a record label. It's a partnership deal essentially. What that means from the record label, I think it was Warner Brothers Music, is that like there are more and more promotions basically happening on Twitch. So if you go to the twitch.tv and see that carousel, it's more often going to be like concerts or other promoted streams as well. It's maybe will be a big streamer, but it'll be like there's only like 6 or 7 like streams that they're promoting, and if 1 or 2 of them are the like Bud Light channel, as it were, or like other kind of like official channels of a product or a brand, then it's going to be less of like actual independent like streamers, and those streamers are the lucky ones and manage to like, as well as some skill, to be able to get like 20,000 followers and then be able to stream to like the 10,000 or 9,000 people each day if they like those numbers. Yeah, I just wonder how long it continues now too, Marty. I just don't know. It's just like, but if a place for like an independent like content creator to get started and just started from the bottom up and like work their way up and may make a brand and turn it success and may should do it was something started from nothing on the internet. I don't know where that place is now. Because like you can't do that on YouTube now. It's just if you start from try to be a big YouTuber now, it's just extremely difficult. It's the odds are stacked against you. The algorithm is more have a tendency of burying videos, and as opposed to like actually even like telling the subscribers of like, oh, his person had put up new video. It's been hard for like some videos getting noticed by like some channels, and so it's very hard to be like a YouTuber even at that. Most YouTubers just rely on Patreon, or basically just like receive donations essentially. And the same thing with like Twitch, and so there's no place now to be an influencer or trying to start from the bottom up. Basically, you're all have to already have like success somewhere or even before in order to like get successful now. Unfortunately, like I think the door is closed behind most everyone else.
Well, I'm actually thinking about making another YouTube channel, like detailing how I build my kits and stuff.
Oh, what do you think?
And but I was told that like no, Calvin asked his parents like, hey, Mom, Dad, how are children made? Well, you see, Calvin, when like two parents love each other enough, they go and buy a kit, buy a children. And they buy a kit from Sears and build a child from beginning. And Calvin's like, I came from Sears. No, you're a blue item special at Kmart. Mom, why did you told our son this time?
Is this a Calvin and Hobbes reference?
Yes, I did. Yes, I told the entire Calvin and Hobbes strip. Yes.
I get it.
Uh,
I'm about to run though, but I'll see you guys next week.
Isaiah, you can't see me.
Take
waving,
care,
but that's my
Isaiah.
avatar doesn't-
Isaiah is awesome.
Bye, Tabby.
Bye
bye,
bye.
Isaiah.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah, I am. We are.
I try to be. I just like do what I do and do the best I can. There are times I wish I could do more, but I have to like to know my limitations, as it were, at least financially.
Tabby, are you on Instagram?
No.
Okay.
You're
Is
not
there a
a
reason for me to be?
Well, I was on Instagram. I don't know if you followed me or not.
Oh, no. I'm not on Instagram.
All right.
But you
That's where
can't.
he shares his Titanic stuff.
Ooh,
Yes.
cool.
on the Cult Culture 92 on Instagram, so you can check out yeah, you can check out the kits that like Isaiah builds and the cosplay that Isaiah has, and like they. Yeah, yes, Isaiah should have like a decent paying job and be able to like live and afford a place to stay and a place to and like food to eat, as well as like this cosplays. No one should get on Isaiah for just like spending so much money on cosplays. No, it makes him happy.
Those cosplays are fucking sharp.
Yes.
Well, I try my best.
Later, Isaiah.
Yep, I catch you guys later.
Bye, Zai.
So what else has happened this week? Oh yeah, that's news. Actual news. Biden is forgiving some student debt, but I don't know.
We've
how
heard
much.
this before.
$10,000, which is significant, but
We're talking about numbers that are like, what is it, like 1.7 trillion and rising?
Yes, but yet many liberals. In fact, this came up on like Steve Shaw's Patreon hangout. Again, I get frustrated sometimes when I'm in those hangouts, especially because there's particularly one liberal that's just like, but Steve will agree with this liberal that just talks over everyone else, and like, and including me. But when it becomes political, this liberal, serious-minded, serious mind, it will just like dominate the conversations. But yet, and his position is like, it's a good thing that Biden forgives some student debt. And I know it feels like compromise, but that's the start. We just ask for more. I'm still just frustrated at how little it is. I even brought up like how Joanna is still like begging for like food. Oh, and right now she's actually begging for food. Oh, and how long? Sometimes I just remain silent when like they go off on this liberalism kind of thing, and I know how like yes, it's a good thing, but it's just like still not enough, and they acknowledge that, but they're fine and settle for that. I just don't understand liberals sometimes. I get frustrated when I'm in conversation about them. I understand the importance of voting in this world because, as Evan Goldman said, if they try to make voting illegal, if the voting actually did any change, it did actual change, they would make it illegal, and that's what the Democrats are doing now.
Wait, so part of this liberal person's message is that we should be happy for this little bit that Biden did.
Yes.
Liberals just want you to be happy with fucking crumbs off the table.
Yes.
That's their thing. It's like, but we should be look at these crumbs falling from the table. We should be so grateful to the person actually up at the fucking table with all the actual food.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Not sorry.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to be a little pissed off at that.
Only a little.
That's what it is.
Yeah. And as again, I'll eventually bring these guys back on about this, and we can have this conversation. But it's like, I just don't. I just don't agree with the settlement and that sort of thing. I just don't agree with like settling, as it were, or and if like. And this is something that Serious Mind said on Steve Shaw's like conversation streams back in like the beginning of 2021, is that if every senator was as progressive as like Bernie Sanders and every congressperson is as progressive as like AOC, things will still be slow. And that's by design, by the system. And how Serious Mind said this is that's a good thing. Why? That's my big question to Serious Minded, but it would be a whole argument. This is a liberal that I've been blocked by on Facebook because it's because
you actually challenge liberalism.
I said that like the capitalism decay is fascism, and this is an actual capitalist, as in he has a small business that he wants to turn into an enterprise.
Well, according to Marx's definition, you're only a capitalist if you can live off your capital without having to work.
He's not at that point yet.
Yeah. So he's petty bouche.
Yes.
But you can be at that stage and still be somebody who actively goes out of your way to uphold capitalism.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You can be incredibly poor and go out of your way to uphold capitalism. It's called being a Republican voter.
Mm-hmm. AOC is still ableist. I can believe that, Emily Chambers. Yeah, I can believe that. I'm not sure what like she has said specifically to be ableist, but no, I can just believe that as it were. Yeah, no, hey, comrade about no half measures or revolution and eradication. At like, see, so Marx said the future is either barbarism or socialism. I like how what Murray Bertram said is either anarchism or annihilation. And at this point, it's just like if either we are like see the bring about the drastic change that needs to happen, or we just like prepare for the desert that's going to come. Um, yeah, yes, I don't know. I don't know specifically Scarlet Meadow Spirit how like AOC is ableist, but I am also out of loop too. But I'm sure Emily Chambers has like has like a source or a reason why she says that like AOC is ableist. I can just believe it honestly, because like while I like AOC a lot, but she's just like the best that like we have in like the Congress right now is, and that's just more of an indictment of Congress than like in the Senate than anything else. Like if Bernie Sanders the most progressive like senator in the Senate right now, that's more of an indictment of the Senate than anything else than saying how great Bernie is.
Good. I can't. Is Bernie Sanders actually said he wants to end American imperialism outright?
Yeah, he hasn't, and AOC
Then,
has also. Yeah, AOC has also defended American imperialism as well too, and it's like for some people it's been hard, but I'm just like, yeah, I just like, mhm.
Yeah, if you're not saying, hey, we should stop exploiting people in, Central and South America and Africa and the rest of the world for our own gain, you're not that far left yet.
Mm-hmm. Varnock said the arguments for why the slow is better is because it's supposed to let have time to see if the changes are good or bad without having wild swings between stances like we have with the current cards. Well, that's the thing. Is just like the Republicans don't want things to be slow. Republicans just want to have the absolute power, and they want to like take hold of the rings of power as much as they can, cheating the system.
They're
or
fascists. They want absolute authority and control over everything.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense, Emily.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I'm sure Emily has further thoughts. I will say like the ADA, it puts all of the onus and all of the effort on disabled people to prove there is an accessibility issue through this long, convoluted legal process that
it is a pain in the ass and it's awful. It's better than nothing, but that's a low bar.
But I'm sorry, I give myself a pat on the back when I manage to take a shower.
Right, because to you a shower is like 1,000 needles and knives in your skin.
But I'm supposed to go through a great big fucking several year long legal fight if my library doesn't have a ramp so I can actually get into my town's public library, which was the case in one of the previous cities I was living in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also those ramps are often way too steep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. So it's like Comrade Abbott said true, but also catastrophic and climate change will kill us before the slow process works. I agree with that, Comrade Abbott, which Volreich also agrees with. I'm not arguing the system works, just saying that it was put in place. Like, yeah, that's our argument with like the system as it is, like the Congress and House of Representatives, how all the courts worked. It was all designed for rich white men who were making judgment calls to have a system in place that benefit them, and which is why they hated democracy and had a undemocratic system of like the Senate, which is not proportional, as opposed to the Congress, which at least is in somewhat, and have like the courts as it is with lifetime appointments. Some courts, but on the lower and state and local courts, like you actually do get elected as well. But like, but sometimes how it is in practice is like, and even district attorneys and also elected, there's some offices that may, I don't know. This is a good idea for them to be like elected officers or not, but sheriffs as it were. That's how Joe Arpaio got like a job as a sheriff because like the racist and fascist and like his Copacondi was they elected him each and every time. But thankfully, the dynamics of that county changed it so that it wasn't as bigoted to like immigrants, and so Joe Arpaio did not win his re-elections and has to and was he did get pardoned by Trump though, but like so we'll see.
Dude,
John
I am back to
racist.
living in a city where people still think he's an okay guy, and I'm like,
Mm,
I don't go out much.
it's also extremely hot in Arizona, so I don't blame you as well.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's that, and it's all urban sprawl. There's not really anything to actually, or much of anything to get out and do, and also, yeah, politicians put up like racist and transphobic political stuff on the street when we go out driving to like groceries and stuff.
Yeah. It's like so yeah, an ideal world, an ideal future, assuming that like we have like the capitalism dismantle as it were, how would I regard design cities and design groups as it were, because or design things, because definitely for the benefit of like the environment, I don't think we should design cities or design like public spaces as it were with the idea that everyone's going to use a car. It's just they gotta like abandon that somehow. Not
Radical
saying
accessibility.
yes, radical accessibility to everything, which but which is I'm not opposed for some
No
people
more
who have
streets, just sidewalks and trees.
is and if people want to live out in the woods or like you live out in rural places, I think that's fine with that too. And in cases like that, either a high speed train that comes around so often, and then transportation to and from the train tracks and them there, or like everyone has bicycles or other modes of vehicles that can take them there, or the
Don't kid
occasional
yourself,
car.
Marty. Arizona just won.
I'm not really sure it's any better. I just happen to have a good friend who is well off enough that he can give me this rather nice and expansive room. It's big,
Mm-hmm.
and I can, live safely while I try to sort out my other life shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason why I'm here,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a stable situation.
Yes. Oh god. I'm just like I think I don't even know if we like signed a new lease or something like that so far. But then again, we got like new company that like owns my apartments, or it seems stable enough as where, and I regularly make my payments to like the like a joint account so that we can. It's like yeah, so long as I have a job, I'm stable. I'm confident I will still have a job for sure. And it's like and. Oh yeah. Then fuck Pope Francis apology that doesn't wipe away centuries of like forced indigenous assimilations and molestation by the Catholic, Lutheran, and Mormon and like Jesuit colonizers. Yeah, in Archimedia we talk about like Pope Francis apology. It's like just apology, just words, no actions though.
Doesn't the Catholic Church like hold a bunch of land somewhere?
I think it still does. Yeah,
Yeah,
wouldn't surprise
they
me.
own a lot of land all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking give it back.
Yes, exactly. That would be action. That would be worth.
I mean,
something.
I wouldn't be the one to say that that's enough. That's for the actual people affected to say. But I
Yes.
will say they should, if the Catholic Church is, I'm certain the Catholic Church is holding land that rightfully belongs to indigenous people. They should just all give it all fucking back.
Mm-hmm. And I do agree, Comrade IPOC. I would love to have a nice, slow, easy transitional phase of some kind. And like, even though I've like talked a lot about like revolution as it were, I was that kind of anarchist. I think it's only because I think some kind of like change or drastic change like that has to be necessary. I would love for the transition to be slow and peaceful. I just know that like the people who hold power now are do not. Some of them probably will give us some power, but the vast majority of those, like the rich class, and they will not give up the majority of power or give up a lot of their power without at least some resistance of some kind. And so how does the resistance plays out depends, but like knowing history a bit, it's just like it's something would definitely like go down swinging if for trying to like, hold on their powers for dear life. They would use violence against us to hold their power for sure. That one I can contend, and that's happened a lot throughout history. So it's just like, at the very least, if we do kind of like have a revolution of some kind or something like that, we also have to like, it's a constant thing. It's just not one singular act. It's just like, is a constant work in progress, as just like anarchism is in general. And so we're going to have to like defend it as well. The Java still has to like defend their where they live and defend themselves. The Zapatistas do have to do that too, and have to participate in like the capitalist system, the global capitalist system as it is right now, and how terrible it is. It sucks, but at least they sell coffee. So, and have to like make money for themselves and support themselves. Even Alex Jones is a fan of the coffee the Zapatista makes.
Alex Jones lost his lawsuit.
That's right. Yeah, that did happen too.
I really wish I will still say I just wish Alex Jones some access to some good alcoholism recovery programs, preferably the
Yes.
sort that will take away his laptop and cell phone.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. That is because if Alex Jones is like stop broadcast, as it were, there probably won't be anyone that'll take up the Infowars things. I mean, yeah, there's Paul Justice Watson.
I
He's still
mean,
he's still
there's
terrible.
all
I mean,
there's
there's still
always
Joe Rogan and the Daily Wire, so
and
Yeah,
there's I mean, Breitbart is still out there, Quitlet is still out there.
true. Rebel Media.
Tucker Carlson is still on Fox News.
Oh yeah.
parroting white ring talking points.
Put full on quoting, the great replacement myth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pulling the I don't like all these liberals keep talking about white supremacy and accusing us of white supremacy, but how can I be guilty of white supremacy when I don't know what white supremacy is? You gaslighting fucking fascist piece of shit. Tucker, go walk off a dock.
Alex Jones lost his lawsuit for a lot of reasons. His lawyers doing the dumb thing with the cell phone was just sort of the cherry on the sundae that will
Yes.
get him convicted of perjury.
Yes, absolutely. So it not only has that's right, it was a civil lawsuit, but now if that like we have proof that he did lie under oath, he's gonna be like on trial for that too. And hey, perjury is a serious enough offense that like Bill Clinton got impeached for that. He didn't get removed from office, and it's like what he like what about this stuff. There's the worst things that Bill Clinton done that I think like what did he now lying on oath is still like serious crime, and that's why he got impeached as it were. But it's like it was the motivation behind it was just to get out a liberal from office as were more or less because like none
He
of the
wasn't even that far left.
yes he was a
Wasn't
centrist.
that left at all?
He was like center right. He was part of the third
Yep.
wave.
He was the Democrats embracing neoliberalism.
Mm-hmm. And with Tony Blair doing the same thing with like a new Labour in like the UK. Whereas like the Bill Clinton was like I think it's kind of like he was like I tried to I had to like really do a lot of research on this because like is either he wants to reach across the aisle get the Thuglicans to be on his side, but they would but reaching across the aisle means that Bill Clinton was being pulled by the Thuglicans, or
Yeah,
it was his conservative members of his party. Just kind of like how the currently is Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, but before it was like Joe Lieberman or any other like conservative member of the party that said, no, I'm not for this. And then Bill Clinton be pulled by the conservative member of their party. As were that was true for Barack Obama as well. Whereas like they could not like Barack Obama just like refused to do infighting with his party and just like challenges like conservative members of the party said, no, you're going with this or else you're not going to get that thing. And it's more of like is more compromising with the conservative members of the party and the Republicans more than like the progressive side as well. The progressive side always seems to lose out more.
You always have to question people when they're like, oh, but we have to appeal to all these people who actually are fully okay with their white supremacy being overt instead of covert.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of me like there's this whole fucking crowds of people like, hey, we're tired of voter suppression, we're tired of police violence, we're tired of indigenous genocide. maybe listen to them and actually reach out to
No, I
those
think we'll listen to
groups.
business owners and landlords. That's where the fun is.
Yeah, because that's where the money is. White
Mhm.
That's where the
supremacy fucking
fun.
pays. It does.
Yeah, and like
Putting the fun in fundamentalism.
oh yeah, Marty, like bombing Sundanese pharmaceutical factory, killing thousands. Yeah, Clinton is
Yep.
remotely left. Absolutely. And just remember, the deregulation of the U.S. economy in the '80s started before the point. The Democrats in the '70s were already deregulating. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, again, Bill Clinton said he was like a small government liberal or a small, and so like he was for a small government too. And this is something I have
Basically,
read.
everything we've done for the last 50 years has been to deconstruct what happened during the 30 glorious years following the Great Depression.
Is and Mithral from our Mithral, one of our UK correspondents, is where it says Blair was a political opportunist. He joined whichever party was most likely to get him power. That I
No,
can
no.
totally.
Mithril called him Blyer, which I'm pretty sure was a typo, but it's perfect.
I'm not sure
Because
it was
he's a B
typo.
grade liar.
That could dude, that's a good point. Like that could have been easily intended and brilliant on Mithral's part. Mithril just take care of it for it now and saying it was intended, even if it wasn't. Yeah, so yeah, and it's like. And with the and yeah, people always like to talk about like when there's going to be like a left version of the Tea Party. Okay, the problem is like if there's like a left as an actual left version
We had
of like
Occupy.
yes, we did, but then the Democrats like also crushed that and like
Mhm.
did not listen to like what like the occupiers wanted because that would hurt their positions of the powers too. Again, after the 2008 crash, all of the bankers were just like worried as they walked into like Obama's office after in when he took office, but then left the office happy about what they received, what they got, or the deal that they got for it. And so, yeah. Politics, neoliberalism. His rap name is B Liar.
Yep.
I don't want to imagine Tony Blair rapping though. I just don't want get a talented rapper that can like cosplay as Tony Blair and be like on the epic rap battle in history. That would be an interesting episode because like
Don't encourage people to put on whiteface. That's not cool.
Oh, that's right. Oh no, I have a friend who I play Traveler with. Talk about D&D groups and tabletop RPGs group, but it's like I think this my friend just has like I need to have a conversation with him and wonder how far he will go with like white male agreement politics as it were. It is an economic disparity. No, my friend is literally poor and working class and just like having that problem, all those like, social economical problems of being in poverty, but yet when it comes to like I think I already mentioned this before on like social justice Alchemy, so I'm sorry for repeating myself, but like with like Billy D. Williams for like a brief period, like 3 days, we thought Billy D. Williams was gender fluid because he says sometimes he feels like he's like talks about his woman side, his female side, as were in an Esquire piece he did. He later clarified that no, he's not gender fluid. But for 3 days, we thought that Billy D. Williams was gender fluid, and there was like Pink News and LGBT like, news was like sharing those articles, and I shared those articles. And this friend said, "Oh come on, I don't care about like Billy D. Williams' sexuality. Why do we care about this?" I politely and wrote I don't know how many characters I wrote. It was like 2 or 3 paragraphs, but a mini essay as about like, no. Okay, first of all, gender fluid is a gender, not a sexuality. And
I'm dating fluid.
yes, exactly. And like, I'm polysexual, so yeah. And then I explained what's the sexuality and blah blah blah, and it's like, and why for me it's important because I'm non-binary, and someone like big as in Billy D. Williams and Lando fucking Calrissian being like non-binary is cool to me, as it were. If he's pansexual, I like to see him actually kiss like Chewie, and then kiss Han Solo, and then kiss L3 though. I want to see that kind of representation though as well.
You can't kiss L3 now because L3's dead, or the ship.
L3 is now the Millennium Falcon. So all throughout the scenes in like the original trilogies, that's actually L3, a sentient robot who was demanding for robots' rights.
I wouldn't mind a scene of Lando making out with the Falcon. On
However,
TV tropes, they call that a cargo ship.
A quick note: I'm married to a fluid being. Yes, fluid beings. Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. See, just I put in the chat. That's where it's like anytime Tony Blair gets brought up, I just remember Chumbawamba. I should Chumbawamba. Yeah,
They
fucking
are
radical.
they're fucking radical. They only get remembered for the one song, but the rest of their songs are fucking communist.
Yes, exactly.
The day the Nazi died. And we'll never rest again until every Nazi dies. And there I just spoiled the end of the song, but it's okay.
I mean, it's like as what I would hope would happen with a Nazi. Does a Nazi live and Nazi dies? Does the Nazi die? Yes, that's a good story. Oh, why you always like celebrating the death of like people? Is like you come on, you would celebrate the death of villains and movies and so were. Occasionally you would have like no, that's like Darth Vader threw an Emperor Palpatine down the shaft and like, but Darth Vader did die, but like died kind of peacefully as it were. He didn't
I think the song also is not. I mean, it does have the literal thing, and they do kind of show a couple of like rebellious guys sitting in a window with an AK-47, like they're fighting a revolution as the cover for that album, I think. But I think it is also it's like getting at the fucking ideology dying, so it just doesn't come back.
Yes, I agree. They also did like Daddy was a bank robber, straight fire. Nice. It's like now that I've become a leftist, I gotta like look more into like the punk scene, listen to more Dead Kennedy songs. I know about they did one called Lynch Landlord, so that's interesting. And but like I wasn't until like a year or two ago, no one told me that like Motorhead has like Eat the Rich song. But Motorhead has
know that Rage Against the Machine is kind of leftist.
Yeah, I think they said something about some of those who work forces are the same who burn crosses. And then they said it over and over again just so that you would actually, just to be sure you actually heard them say that.
I love right-wing dipshits learning about finally
like,
realizing that they are the machine.
Yeah, like I like I forget. There's I think there's more than one I've heard do that. Oh, I like Rage Against the Machine's music, but I hate their politics. Like,
their music is their politics, dumbass.
Yes, a content creator, a libertarian, but a lawpatarian, like was like surprised at the anti-cop sentiment in some of the Rage Against the Machine songs.
You want to talk about?
Mithril sounds like you watched
politics?
Jose's video about Scrubs. Yeah.
What, Tabby?
You want to talk about music and politics?
Sure.
So I was just looking up different songs, and there's some cool stuff that's by Muse that I've enjoyed in the past. And they've got a new album out.
Okay.
The album is called, and I quote, "Will of the People."
Okay.
That could go either way.
Yes.
Oh, it could go either way, and it
went away.
Exactly. Okay, so here's the interview I've been reading, because I was like, okay, because I was listening to some of these songs and some of the lyrics, and I'm like, okay, you're not being politically explicit here. You're just being like rage against the system. But which system are you raging against?
Are you raging against the rich or the Jews? There's a significant difference there.
Yes.
Because Tucker Carlson, he loves talking about how the system is set up to exploit people. But he's not talking about his boss. He's talking about the Jews.
So, let me find this quote.
No, Comrade Abbott, you're not allowed to retract that. You're going to have to stick with the lol. You own that typo.
So
yeah,
yeah,
so the interviewer does like get into the politics of it and points out that like your songs have been co-opted by the left and the right, where when there's an anti-authoritarian theme to maybe everyone believes it's the other side that's authoritarian, like because you're not specifying.
yes.
Vested interest in
Ignore the
geothermal
mimicry. That's my
energy, the
phone.
alarming state of U.S. politics, loving Stephen King, and Rage Against the Machine.
It's just
And
like
I see two white guys and a person of ambiguous race. Can't tell. Might be Hispanic.
So okay, I'm just gonna skip ahead to a quote he gave on this as like he says something along the lines of what is it? It's just I think this is the lead singer,
Mhm.
Matt Bellamy, um saying like the populism that we've seen emerging in the last 10 years on both sides, I'm intrigued by. What's the common theme? It seems to be this kind of powerful entities, powerful corporation, but and he just goes on and it like there's whole several paragraphs in the interview on it, him responding to the interviewer pointing out that hey, both the left and the right uses these songs, and he's like, well, they both seem to be like they're fighting for the same thing to me. And I'm going, and I've seen some other shit going on with like politically ambiguous shit with like Disturbed came out with a new album lately. I think didn't Disturbed say some shit during Black Lives Matter that wasn't that great, like cops pro cop shit.
I'm not. I
No
have no idea if I
It was
wouldn't
a
be
long time ago.
surprised.
Anyway, like they have actually done songs that were just that are just full on like, you know, remember the Holocaust, it was fucking hell. And Never Again. It's actually the title song by Disturbed is Never Again. It's talking about the Holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
But like I saw some of the stuff in their new album, and there's like this one song that it's like, oh, but it's all about, you know, outrage culture, and I hope people get out of outrage culture. I'm like, okay, there is some stuff to get into in that because there is stuff like we could go on about how Facebook and Twitter and this other social media
Mm-hmm.
intentionally manufactures outrage to make itself profits without actually encouraging people towards developing any kind of solutions.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go like just very, very, oh, well, people are just angry all the time as a vague generality, it's like, are you talking about, you know, all of these, you know, overt white supremacists raging and raiding, you know, various Capitol buildings, including the US Capitol in DC, who full on just want to enforce white supremacy? Are you talking about Black Lives Matter protesters that, you know, want to not be violently assaulted by cops anymore? You gotta fucking specify. And I think Shinedown was another one, but no, Shinedown
Oh
actually
yeah, Shine
that
Down.
did one recently. They actually full on said that part of their thing was, oh, but we don't like cancel culture. I'm like, oh shit, that's fuck.
My favorite track was Down with the Wokeness.
So
What?
there's been a bunch of albums like this, and it was just I was reading through this thing with Muse and thinking about the other things that I've read with like Disturbed and Shinedown, and I'm sure there's other bands with this shit going on.
Trap. Mm-hmm.
Wasn't Trap just full on like they praised the Proud Boys?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's one's even further.
That's
So yeah, there are like the ones that just are full on fascist, but then there's like a bunch of them that are doing this very centricity thing of, oh, I can't really tell, so I'm gonna make this, you know, politically charged album, but I'm gonna be politically vague about it. And it's also just hitting me. This is a product of how modern hard rock for, you know, the longest time. I mean, actual original rock and roll. I started listening
For the
to
longest time.
you know, actual original rock and roll, and I started listening to more like getting like Big Mama Thornton, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, etc. It wasn't just very black music. A lot of the original rock and roll was led by black women.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have hard rock, and hard rock is very much so a genre dominated by white men and
Yeah.
white men's way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So we get this whole, oh, but there's all this political stuff going on, and I just wish people wouldn't be so angry and no, oh, both sides look the same to me because they're so angry. Like, no processing and no awareness. Like, hey, wait a minute. One side here is explicitly promoting white supremacy. They're not even hiding it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The other side is like, we would like to stop being, violently abused by white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think both sides have a point.
It's like that centrism fallacy. What's the middle ground between like genocide and like no genocide? Partially genocide?
Mm-hmm.
We'll do
I
a
am
little
also going to
genocide
say-
Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
As somebody who is a fan of, well, a lot of different genres of music, but I've been a fan of hard rock for a while because
Yeah. Same here.
it's gotten me through a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not willing to be explicit in your politics, in your music, but you're going to be like, you're going to do the vague thing of like, oh, it's vaguely political, but I'm not really sure who it's,
You
speaking
mean
to.
you too?
Yeah, that. But it was just speaking to those guys. If that's what you're doing, you're a fucking coward.
Mhm.
Yes, I agree.
I'm going to call you a coward.
It's so many, and that's why even, now some content creators, at least with content creators like on Twitch or like YouTube, it's something that they don't do outwardly political thing, as in talking about like who to vote for or political ideologies. Maybe it's like comes up and like talk about like representation if they go to that or talk about that sort of thing. And if they want to just talk about movies. Yes, it's like this is why a lot of like Twitch streamers have like no politics rules because like they want to avoid the contentious and the nature as it were, or they don't want to lose friends. Where it's just like for me, it's just like if my politics pushes some people away, I'm fine with that. Because if people are pro-capitalism for one thing, I'm fine with my anti-capitalist position is pushing things away. I mean, my former coworker is a Trumper. And I went further left as I know my coworker. I always knew that he was conservative before, which means a fascist in this country. But it's just like it never. My political ideology has never come up as a topic until until our last days together. He left for his own reasons. His family moved to like Montana, and so. Yeah, it's like it was only like one time that he like yelled at me, it didn't work in Russia, it didn't work in Russia. To which I said, I'm not a Stalinist. Don't quite be
No. All communism is Stalinism. My
according
dad
to your
said
dad.
so.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, but no, the politics is important, and like again, depending on how if you think capitalism is a good thing because of like indoctrination, that's like one thing that I think I can work on you in order to like say, okay, can you at least understand my position on capitalism as well, and you can get that'd be something. I can be friends with like most liberals. I'm surrounded by capitalists or capitalists with liberals in Pacific Northwest Seattle, and yeah. So I'm surrounded by people. So like, if I pick only people who are at least leftist, anarchist, socialists, and communists, yeah, I have like a small group of friends. I love my friends though. Don't get me wrong, who are like also leftists too. But some political differences do matter. It's not as benign as like pineapple on pizza. That can yes, just like because who cares about like food? Real politics does affect people's lives, and you can if you feel like your politics does not affect you, congratulations, you are privileged in some way.
I want the people around me to actually be pro my survival. I want them to be pro like all the friends you mentioned that really need some help right now, like Joanna Roberts, like Phoenix. You've got a list.
Yes,
I want people to be pro Isaiah's survival. I want people to be pro Emily's survival, pro Anarcho-Media survival, like Anarcho-Media. I'm sorry. I want people to be pro Joey lame deers, and not just survival, but fucking ability to actually thrive.
Yes.
I don't know. Sounds kind
Um,
of gay.
Hey, John Brockman, I gotta break something to you here. I'm gonna try to be gentle about it, but I'm gay.
No. No.
Okay, okay. To be really, you want to get really specific, I am fucking queer as fuck. I am a trans
This is
gray
shocking news
gender
to me.
woman who is dating a gender fluid person, a transgender fluid person who is asexual and aromantic. I don't fucking understand what people do with attraction. I'm starting to learn about altruist attraction, and I am learning that, yeah, I'm kind of pan-altruist to where I just sometimes have a desire for an emotional connection with people of, regardless of gender. If I form an emotional connection, I'm like, hey, this is great.
Mm-hmm.
So I am fucking queer as fuck.
This is shocking, brand new information.
One other person who desperately needs help. Maya Cross, a friend of like a Tabs
Yes.
and ours. That tweet there contains the GoFundMe. I did link the GoFundMe into like charitylinks.page. It's like
Maya's facing the possibility of ending up having to default on a student loan, and she's not doing so great about that.
yeah, no. Another autistic, disabled trans woman with a chronic illness and on a disability because it's hard to prove her like condition.
It's
And
almost like
her-
disability was set up so that we wouldn't have to do anything about people.
Yeah.
Yes. This is scandalous. I was told this would be a D&D podcast. Don't worry, David. We'll get to that.
It's DOMs and dummies. That's what that stands
and yes, Ron, I did throw pizza on the bus by just like, yeah. It's like, how is everyone? Well, you caught the tail end of the show. How is everyone?
for. Vonric is gay too? God damn it. It's like plague.
I'm polysexual. I mean, I'm not straight, so because I recognize the non-binary people I find attractive too. So.
As a cishet white guy, I'm feeling silenced by my own podcast.
That's a good point on Archimedes. I always wonder how much of the metal gatekeepers and critics of news metals like had to do with like the news metal dudes and chicks being like young and working class folks who have been like abused by the industry.
I haven't checked that out yet.
Yeah, that'll be something to look into, honestly. But yes, the Tavernier Wolfers would like to point you in the directions of like the Indigenous Anarchist Federations to check them out. Also, Black Socialists in America, excellent resource source as it were. And I am Summer and Geek. Summer and Geek on Twitch, Summer and Geek on Twitter, Summer and Geek on YouTube. I'm finally going to Twitch stream later today, probably like shortly after we finish this call. And so yes, I'm finally going to go back to Twitch. Probably going to play Fortnite or whatever I feel up to it as it were, and see how well my computer, which has been upgraded since the last time I streamed over 2 months ago, just got like a RAM stick that can stick in there, but there was only one available RAM slot, not two. It only had 2 total RAM slots, so I got the most I can get for like a 16. Almost like no one's supposed to live on disability or 3. Yeah,
it's
They don't
almost
want
like
disabled people
they
to
want-
live.
Yeah.
yes, exactly. So later on
Eugenics.
yes, exactly. Later on tonight at like 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern is, I'm guessing, hold on, Thought you can correct me on this, but like last week you were off, but like tonight will be Fluid Voice, as it were. Yeah.
With Ozma.
It was Ozma in the Dark, and like Christy, no, and Prefect. And John Bartman, and you're part of another podcast, aren't you?
Dungeons and Debacles. We're saving the world from an evil red dragon cult. Heck of a lot of fun. Completely different from this. Not
Don't
all
forget
that different because I'm still there being a troll.
Being an ass, being a jerk, being you. You would get offended when you're like called kind of an ass.
I try, okay? I try really hard. I put a lot of work into it. I have a great ass.
Don't forget charitylinks.page.
Mhm.
My GoFundMe is in there. Joanna Roberts information is there. So Sphinx information is there. Don't put yourself into like financial hole just for to help others out.
Jonathan,
Mhm.
I am looking at you as you say that.
Yes, I'm willing to live with my credit card debt, and most others cannot comfortably live with the credit card debt amount that
Now,
I have.
I'm
I don't
curious.
believe.
Have you worked out your plan for how to fake your death and move to France?
Okay, the thing is, like, if I do that, I'm worried about like what would happen if I have how we're going to help out Phoenix and Joanna, because like if I get arrested at a protest or if I lose my job, then I'm just like really definitely worried. So like that's why I do the faking my death doesn't factor into it. Seems a lot of work to do that, honestly, too. And it seems we worried of far more complications from doing that as opposed to like a but like getting out of the debt there's work. I don't know. I need to earn more money. Okay, but no, give money to Joanna Robinson, Phoenix, and Maya, and whoever else you can help in Charity League stuff page. And don't forget to practice self care, everyone.
Indeed. Hydrate, medicate, keep yourself safe.
And that's a good point. Don't move to France because like Literano's trying to leave France. It has to be New Zealand or something like that. I have to become a
No,
Jedi.
no, that's where Peter Thiel wants to move, and he is a piece of shit. Maybe
Okay, I'll
Papua
just
New
move.
Guinea. There's probably a reason for that. I don't know. All right, go ahead and shut off the stream.